Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Griftlands, where today we begin the run of Rook the Spy. I think Rook's mechanics are really cool, and I have way less experience with them than I do with Sal's, because Sal was the only character in the early access for quite a long time. So I think I've done like one run with Rook, maybe one or two. So I'm really eager to get in here and see all of the stuff that I never even saw once before. Rook arrives in a company town on the brink of revolt to work a mysterious contract. He's a mysterious dude. Oh, perks. That's what these are. These are perk points. Perks are tricks of the trade that grifters learn over the course of their adventures. Equipping different perks may influence how you play your run. Unlock new perks by completing new grifts and spending your points here. Grifts? Ah, okay, the achievements. So there's a billion of these. There's a lot of cards to unlock. There's so many people to meet. Many bosses to fight. We saw 14% of the bosses. There are 93 bosses in the game? Really? Wow. Alright. So, just continue to get shills, continue to upgrade cards, do quests, win a campaign, beat Sparky. Is there... Okay, so there's probably one for... no, there's not one for each boss. Interesting. But yeah, none of these are things we have to think about at all. I guess I should at some point do some daily challenges. We'll try those out. We should do a brawl. And then, yeah, there's lots of graphs and... Anyway, I need to unlock perks to unlock slots. So... One random person will like you, maximum health. New pets are immediately trained is cool. I'm a big fan of pets. First graft you install is immediately upgraded. It's a shame that the first graft you take usually won't be a very good one, right? You'll see a common graft. I guess, though, if you intentionally avoid grafts for the first day, and then at the end of the first day you fight a boss, right? I wonder if you could reasonably... We're going to take this. We're going to unlock enough perks here to be able to have 2 equipped. We're going to actually try to... We'll see if we can make this happen. Seems like fun. Alright, fatigue starts later than normal. We didn't talk about fatigue. It did happen in at least one battle during that campaign, but if you stay in a battle for long enough, eventually you get the fatigue status, and all that does is it makes it, I believe, all that does is make it so that you don't get XP on your cards anymore, so that you can't just stay in one battle, get yourself safe, and then level up all your cards infinitely. I think that fatigue is the name of that thing. Yo, 75 shills is like actually a very significant number. Once per day, eat and drink without any repercussions. That also seems really cool. I would like tough constitution. So these things level up. These things have maximum levels, right? I do kind of like the idea of having some people like you immediately. I think that's way more interesting than having more resolve and health, even if it's maybe not necessarily more good. Let's buy some of that. I wonder how much do the increased levels of that... Okay, it's not that there's more levels here, it's that there are more levels of it further on. So we'll also take then, like, pets. I like pets. I'm a big pet person. And one more to open up tier 2. Start every battle with 1 power is pretty cool. Alright, draw 2 additional cards at the start of every encounter, both battle and negotiation. Eating food heals your pet, more people like you. At the start of each day, a random person that likes you will love you instead. Plays really well with those other perks. Maybe we don't even take this thing. Maybe we take this and random people like you, and we just benefit from that. You know, honestly though, you don't need to have people liking you to start with to benefit from charming. I'm gonna take it. I am sure. I want this. I am sure that we can make that work. We can just like be nice to people once in a while. We're gonna play Rook as less of a bastard. So, well, no, maybe more of a bastard, less of a murderer though. So I have 6 points left. More maximum resolve, more maximum health. So we have to unlock 6 tier 2 perks to get... Okay, wow, they go far down. Alright, yeah, we're going to spend the rest of it at this tier. I mean, this seems useful. That's the thing we might take sometimes. That's cool. So there's really no reason to take the low-level versions of the step-by-step ones, though, right? Because they're not required to get the higher-level versions. So let's go ahead and take this, and then... what do we want in the third spot? Just the cards? It's probably the cards, right? 75's a lot. 2 cards is very good, though. It's only the first turn. I'm gonna take the money. It's a lot of money. I'm gonna take the money. Alright, let's try it like this. This is neat. This is a neat system. Okay, yeah. And then Rook's got a whole thing. We'll get into his mechanics as they come up in the actual campaign. I would love to start at level 1. Thank you.
You bear the brunt of the world when you wear a soldier's uniform. So you turned yours in and left the Admiralty. But even out of uniform, your name still carries the weight of your medals. Captain Rook, the veteran, the hero, the saboteur, the spy. These days, you freelance, and you're on your way to a job in Grout Bog, where the Spark Barons plumb the ruins looking for forgotten treasures. The bugs are hard to spot, but they bleed you dry if you let them. Seems like you'll fit in just fine.
The voiceover actress that they've got for those, she reads them in such a weird way. She puts so much emphasis on strange parts of the sentence, like, the bugs are hard to spot, but they bleed you dry if you let, like... Why do it like... what are you doing? The land around Grout Bog squelches with mud, hungry for legs as well as boots. The only road leads to a gate, flanked by armed security. A Spark Baron guard steps out into the path as you approach. Stop right there. The bog is closed. Especially to grifters like you. Unless you pay the, processing fee. Well, I did bring all this extra money. And then maybe I could see to considering your petition for entry. I mean, obviously, we're not going to start by paying. Opponent has -6 resolve, bad at his job. Yeah, forgive me for being skeptical of this, fee. In fact, I'd like to speak to your supervisor. Just pull rank on him immediately. So, now, we're gonna figure Rook out. Listen, I know how Rook goes, kind of. Steal 2 cards from Rook and hold them hostage. What an annoying thing to do. So, Rook's got this coin. Some of our cards will flip our coin. Some of our cards will have effects based on what is currently showing on our coin. So right now, we have heads up. It's heads and snails, I think. Right now, heads is showing. So whenever we flip the coin, it does a thing depending on which face it lands on, and then while the head is showing, we get maximum damage from our green cards. So I mean, this turn is not exactly rocket science. Alright, so he's stolen my trickery and my coin flipping card. All cards are returned to Rook's hand, but Rook gains 2 vulnerability. Okay, so this it's a weird version of draw 2. What does this do? Okay, annoying, but whatever. Give me this. Alright, so Call It is the card that flips our coin. Gamble is the keyword that flips our coin. And this card is not discarded at the end of our turn. So if we're happy with where the coin is right now, we don't necessarily have to mess with it. Let's improvise ourselves a card. Give your currently prepared card +2 bonus damage until end of turn. So the prepared card is the leftmost card in our hand. There's some positional stuff here. I guess bank? And then, like, we may as well... Let's flip the coin a couple of times and see if we can get it to land on the other side. Beautiful. Alright. Bank, and let's go big on this. Please stop doing that. And then we may as well flip it again. I really like this whole coin mechanic. I think this is a cool design. Alright, stealing my stuff, but this turn we can probably just go around. We're not guaranteed the kill. What do you have in your hand right now? Another grumble? And they set up a straw man argument to attack. Let's try just go into the face here. 3 is tough. You know, if we'd thrown a 2, that would have meant one thing, and if we'd thrown a 4, it would have meant another. 3 is really rough because it doesn't necessarily give us direction yet. I'm gonna go to the head again. Please just roll the 3. Okay, well, I guess I should have gone to Scruples first, because he was at 7. So we would have paid 3 damage to make him lose 3.5 health. Since I'm not going to get there, you know what? Fingers crossed. We're just gonna hope. Oof. Well, that's what happens when you hope. Rook just learned a valuable lesson. Alright, I'm definitely going to flip my coin. Hold on. I'm going to play Trickery first. Oh, the ability to rig the coin toss. Let's flip it once. I wanted to make sure we weren't going to kill him before we got to play everything here, because obviously we want to get some XP. So I'm going to rig the coin. We're going to call heads on this next one. Flip it again. Just making sure to get XP on my call it. Okay. There you go, pleasantries. Look how pleasant he is. We're gonna try to play Rook a little bit more pleasantly than we played Sal. So, burn hits all opposing arguments when the coin is snails. If this is prepared to gain an action, that seems very powerful. Or cheap stuff. This seems really good. If we can get it prepared. And I mean, obviously, you can change which card is prepared in your hand without even needing any fancy stuff by just playing the leftmost card, so the second to left card becomes prepared. So there's some positional stuff we'll be able to work out. I think this seems great. Well, you want to get your superiors involved? Ha! And they just doubled the fee. But fine, Grifter, have it your way. But you better have some work papers, else the only thing I'm authorized to give you is a kick in the seat. Do I have those? Let's ask some questions first. Hey, I've been on the road a long time. Let me rest these old bones a minute while I get my bearings, huh? Now you got 5 minutes. We got a strict no loitering policy. As I recall, Grout Bog was once a prospector's dream. This seems very bureaucratic. Are you kidding? It's been under Spark Baron regulation for a good 20 years at least. A little piece of paradise away from the Admiralty and the cult. Paradise for whom? Oh, look at his adorable little cape. Well, the barons, of course. I mean, not so much the contracted labor. They have to dig up the tech, and the bog is not a forgiving place. Between the pitfalls and the grockets, most don't make it to the end of their terms. Are grockets critters? They are, okay. Deadly bog beast, known for its uncanny camouflage. Well, that might be relevant information later. Ah, that sounds unpleasant. No kidding. The road out of here is right behind you, Grifter. So the gate is to keep the unlicensed rogues from plundering the dig sites? Ah, sure. I mean, not that most would have the guts to try. The digs are for old tech, from the Vagrant Age. Half of it explodes the second it oxidizes. Interesting. Only barons got to know how to dig it up safely. And weaponize it. Well, I mean, you gotta profit somehow. But the gates are mostly here to keep laborers in. I see. That's slightly worrying. I assume the Spark Barons are the law of the land, then. Well, they're the ones paying everyone's bills, aren't they? Groutbog's operations manager is a former Admiralty officer, even, so he knows a thing or two about authority. That would be Lelin Falemo, yes? The Kradeshi? Huh. Yeah, that's right. You heard of him? Oh, he and I are old friends, actually. Though we were each 20 years younger when our friendship took root. Time will tell how well it's weathered. Huh. If you say so, Grifter. And what about the laborers, then? I've heard whispers of some worker rebellions rising up in the bread fields. That's where they mine all the bread. A relatively mild and fertile area of Bavaria, south of Murder Bay, rigorously controlled by the Admiralty. Farmers there are indentured to Deltree, and must hand over the bulk of their produce in exchange for rations. So it's going well everywhere, is the point. Yeah, it's a rot, that is. A real sickness. And it's spread to Grout Bog. Half the workers are a sneeze away from open revolt. So we don't need folks like you coming in and stirring up trouble. Well, then who should I avoid? That's the problem. They keep their cards close, wily-like. The leader could even be a foreman, for all we know. So, are you going to give me your papers, or am I going to give you a very bad day? Alright, I don't necessarily want to establish a reputation for responding to threats, but fine. No need for hostilities, friend. I'm here by invitation. See, look how pleasant. See for yourself, if you like. You pulled the signed work visa from an oilskin wallet you carry for such purposes. Huh. Looks legit. Who exactly are you meant to report to? So this I remember. I do think that the blacklist mechanic is really fun. If we're here to work security, we report directly to Falemo the Spark Baron. We get this card where every time we play it against somebody, we take their name, and if it's a new name, it expands the damage done by the card. Or we could get a shovel to kill people with. I'm here to work security. I think this is going to be fun. Do I look like a common laborer to you? I'm reporting to Lelin Falemo directly. Falemo? No way, someone like you... His eyes glance down at your work visa again, and this time he reads the fine print. Of course you are, sir. Then we better hurry this along. Falemo doesn't like to be kept waiting. It is a shame that card costs 2, though. I still gotta search you, though. You got anything to declare? You rummage through your backpack, showing Vectorini the contents. You've only got one thing worth declaring, though. Is it an amnesiator? Ooh, that is a good way to get a card out of your deck real fast. Or some max health and resolve, or an extra negotiation graft slot. I mean, we already have 4. Do I think I'm going to get to 5 grafts? Let's take the amnesiator. Yeah, I've been meaning to get one of those for myself. I don't suppose you know what kind of work Falemo might have for me. How the hesh would I know? Oh, it's the hesh now. Things are getting rough with the workers, though. They want more rights, better pay. And maybe Falemo wants you to work security and shut down their union before it starts. I see. That makes sense. And what if I would prefer to find other work? If Falemo's expecting you, I wouldn't want to disappoint him. But, there's always more work to be had in the bog. You could check in with a foreman named Calandra. She's not too strict, and might take pity on an old fogey like you. Charming. So, I'm free to go? Yeah, whatever. Thank you, officer. It's been a pleasure. But, hey, don't try anything funny in there. You go through the gate, but you feel like Vectorini will miss you when you're gone. Yep, that's definitely the vibe I got. Alright, well, I mean, we probably ought to go check in with our old friend Falemo, right? Seems like it's only the polite thing to do. As you enter the official-looking building, you're stopped by an armed guard. Stay right where you are, Grifter, and state your business. Here's my business. Calm down. The official sort, my good soldier. Nothing to fret about. You show Lupley your signed papers. She somehow studies them while still fixing you with a suspicious glare. Yeah, this checks out. Very well. You step inside. So he's a patron here? I thought this was an office. He's just hanging out and drinking. Falemo is easy to recognize, even though the years have been a little too kind to him. You spot him lapping at a drink like a contented salamander. That is what those do, apparently. I see you've gone up in the world since discharging, eh, Rookie? Rook, you old scoundrel. You finally made it. Figured you'd be able to move faster than that, even with that bum leg of yours. Docktown's a long way from here, Falemo. And that's Captain Rook to you, even if we're both retired. I'll call you your Royal Highness if you can get the job done. Enough fiddle-faddle. Let's get you to work so you can see what I'm up against. Alright, enough fiddle-faddle, I guess. You wouldn't have called me out here if it wasn't for something interesting. I'll take the job. Excellent. If there's anyone who can get to the bottom of this, it's you. I have a couple of things that need doing. So shills or less money but an upgrade. Yeah, let's take an upgrade. We're like really, really early in the game. An upgraded card makes a lot of difference. Now, we see to it that the barons dine like the Kradeshi dynasties of old. But for the laborers, we process some of the biomass extraction byproduct into a nutritional paste. Huh, surprised you haven't cracked under the strain of your jealousy. Please, Rook, I've tasted it myself. No worse than Admiralty field rations. It's calories and nutrients, exactly what's needed to keep the workforce healthy. Unfortunately, the ingrates aren't satisfied. They've been causing chaos at the serving lines, and it's holding up meal breaks. A delay in operations jeopardizes the whole mission, as you well know. So go defuse a potentially violent situation at the cafe, and probably do it without murdering anyone. Got it. In this instance, I honestly don't care for the details. The whole mess is tiresome. See that the ruckus is quelled, so I can turn my brain power back to the bottom line, Yep, as you like. How much brain power do you think it's taken to keep that light on? Oh, hey, and a vendor just kind of wandered in at some point. What do you have, friend? A nano lattice? Wow, that's a lot of defense. We have good experiences with the Robodex, and here a Robone. Summon an auto dog to fight for you for the rest of this battle. That's a lot of money. It does seem potentially useful. I'm gonna hold off. I'm not gonna spend all my money on that. I do love an auto dog, though. That's the second best kind of dog. You step through the door and find a group of workers facing off against a solitary baron. You already got your rations. Now take a walk. That wasn't enough and you know it. How are we supposed to get our job done if we're half starved? Your robot ain't here to protect you today, Baron. Seems you've arrived in time to extinguish the spark of a riot. Get it? It's because they're Spark Barons and also wordplay. I feel like the Spark Baron ought to give these people the food. Let's have a quick chat. You're Falemo's man, right? My usual enforcer's in the repair shop, so of course the local rabble are pushing their luck today. Please take care of this so I can get back to business. Convince Rickett to back you up in a fight? Hold on. No, we're gonna convince Rickett to compromise. Or... We could threaten... So, whenever you do an intimidation attempt, there are some extra cards added to your deck, and it's a very sort of, like, red-tinted affair. You definitely want to be using those what are the red cards called? I don't remember. The hostility cards. I think we're going to be doing the opposite of that most of the time. Let's try to just diffuse the situation as much as possible, without obviously picking sides just yet. Look, they just want a little more to eat. Is that really such a problem? You could meet them halfway, couldn't you? Not that we're here to not pick sides, but we can at least pretend for the moment that we are here to not pick sides. So, I mean, let's open up with the blacklist, shall we? Alright, we gained a name. Rickett, now you've done it. You've drawn my attention. And then I guess we'll just do this and flip the coin a couple of times. I don't really have a plan here. So for right now, our coin's pretty simple. Just gain a composure when we roll heads, and deal a damage when we roll, or when we flip snails. But we will later on get the opportunity to do some get some more complicated stuff. So I think we're gonna go ahead and amnesiate our grumble. Or maybe a rationale. Maybe I want to burn a rationale. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. I do love offense. You know what they say, the best offense is a good offense, and who cares about defense? Do I want to gain the vulnerability but get my cards back? Probably. So we do this, and then we get to flip the coin again. Maybe I should have just held that, actually. I probably should have just held that. Okay. Oh no, my pleasantries. Well, the head turner is in the optimal position here, but let's start with some trickery. So, draw 2 cards, Incept Flustered. How much damage are you doing this turn? Does Flustered say on it? It does not say how it rounds the damage. I'm assuming that it will probably round up, which is to say that it will not actually remove anything from 2 of these arguments. I guess this is a really good opportunity to test that, though. We can actually learn this. Okay, no, it rounds down. I bet it rounds down with a floor of 1 then. But in any case, that was valuable. Unfortunately, not enough to stop the straw man from getting destroyed. I do want my cards back. Oof. Well, that's rough. Boy, it seems like you just always get minimum damage out of pleasantries unless the coin's in the right state, huh? Okay, that was a lucky way for that to land. So do we rationale off this damage, or do we just blow up some of this stuff? I guess let's just, for the moment, take no damage at all. We're making headway. It doesn't have to cost us anything. Oh no, my trickery. Okay, we have one more use of the Amnesiator, and I think we'll just go ahead and do it. So do I want to get this stuff back? I think I'm not going to bother. Let's blow this up. Then flip the coin and hope it comes up snails. Awesome. Oh, right. I did spend all my actions. Alright, so we managed to pull a couple of fairly low value cards out of our deck immediately, which I'm very happy about. Please give me my cards back. Alright, then we're going to flip the coin and hope it comes up heads. It would be really nice. Okay. Do we have the kill? No, we have 10 damage. And I can't really do anything about that either. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, that being the case, we probably do just play Rationale, right? What is the... I don't actually know what the order of these is going to be. I don't know how to tell what the order is going to be. Because it does matter, right? Because some of these are going to provoke vulnerability, but not... Yeah, hard to know. I'm gonna throw Composure up on this one. Okay, it didn't actually end up applying the new vulnerability stacks until the end, I think. And yeah, here's our fatigue. No more leveling stuff up. So let's just go to the dome. But we've done a pretty good job of deck sculpting already. Gamble and deal 3 damage to all opponent arguments if it's heads. That's interesting. You know, a source of influence would be awfully nice. Right now, a lot of our cards deal max damage if the coin is on heads anyway, though, so that does reduce the value of this. There's something to be said for this saying 1 to 6 on it. I think I'm gonna take head split though. This seems powerful, especially if we can get some more coin rigging effects. They're not striking or shirking their duties, Ricket. They're just hungry. Feed them, and their productivity will increase. Ah, fine. I guess they've been looking a little gaunter lately. Alright, let me go have a word with Ekel. Ekel, maybe? I don't know. What's going on here, if I might ask? Our contract says we're supposed to get 2 square a day, but this slop ain't enough. This Baron is cutting our rations and expecting us to pay her to make up the difference. We won't be extorted anymore. Yeah. I will convince again. To be clear, I personally feel like it's pretty obvious that the Spark Barons are 1000% in the wrong here. But Rook is not taking sides in any visible way just yet. Like, I can't promise you everything you're asking for, but what if I could get you a little more? Enough to sate the growling in your bellies, at least. Would you stand down then? It's a good question. Okay, so not a lot of incoming damage here. I do love to rig the coin. Does it make sense for us to... Yes, it totally makes sense for us to take a rig here. So let's just... Grumble... Rig heads, flip heads for a resolve, or a composure rather, which is nice. And then diplomacy cards deal -2 damage. Okay, well, we're gonna have to do something about that. Damn it, this is also a diplomacy card. Well, alright. We're gonna... Oh, that's awkward. There's no way for me to get Head Turner into the left position. I can't. My cards are too expensive. I guess let's... Blacklist... You know, we should take another name. And then I think I'll just apply 3 composure and flip the coin. And either this will make us take no damage this turn, or we'll get 1 random point of damage out of it. Alright, so this will just naturally fall off at the end of the turn. I wish I had the ability to rig this coin. Still something. We're definitely doing this thing. Yeah, suspicion's very difficult for us to work through if we're trying to be friendly. Which, you know, makes a lot of thematic sense. Okay. So Ekel's tired. Ekel's been through a lot. We're maybe not, like, doing an entirely good thing here by putting her through even more, but we can take advantage of this. Alright, I definitely want to play Trickery before we go out. And yeah, rigging a flip seems like the smart move. Because I would not want this to accidentally end the battle early. So we want to get to play both of these cards. Alright, a weird mixture of friendliness and open threats. Yeah, sure, I'll take another one. What if we just flip the coin all day, every day, all of the time? After all, if we can reach an agreement, then the Barons won't be so quick to dismiss your concerns. Not when you've shown them how reasonable you can be. You know, respectability politics always works out for the oppressed group. Something is better than nothing. And I'm too hungry to put up much of a fight. That's usually how the intention here. We'll listen to their offer. It's settled then, isn't it? I talked it over with Rook, and I can give you all a bit more. We'll take that as a first step, but we're watching you. And I'm watching you. If so much as a spoon goes missing from this place, I'll spike your food with fleet oil and give you all a stain no amount of washing will solve. Gross. That's a gross thing to do to someone. Now, if you wanted to make that really realistic, that approach should make them both dislike me. The trouble at the cafe is over. A calm situation is good for business. I knew I could count on you. You paid 65 shills. Alright, and we get to upgrade a card. The thing is, I knew that. We picked that reward, and still, when I saw the number, I was very unimpressed with it. I think we probably want to upgrade a negotiation card. We're going to be doing a lot of negotiating. We just got this. Let's just go ahead and flip it right over, right? So... that's interesting, but I'm pretty sure we're going to want to be rigging heads as much as possible for the sake of our other cards, so... Alright, I have another job for you. Remove a card. I do like that. Also, Philemo likes us now, so he'll get upgraded to love by our perk at the end of the day. That is how it works, right? No, at the start of each day. So if we had taken the thing that makes a person like you, we would have already gotten a boon. Pluck has been shirking her duties. Philemo wants you to beat her up to set an example for the others. I do like the reward on that, though. Or, a pack of auto dogs has malfunctioned and is terrorizing the bog. I'm gonna intentionally try to take a path of upsetting the fewest number of people possible for the longest possible time. So even though I do think remove a card is a better reward, let's go this way. The executives keep wondering when we'll come up with another automech, you know. Our most successful enterprise, and it was brought to us by a laborer. No small wonder. Labor without the labor disputes, as it were. Please, they're virtually useless without a handler. Brainless automatons. To keep the directors happy, we came up with the dogs, but they have the unfortunate habit of going feral. And wouldn't you guess, the blasted things know the bog better than anyone living. We have reports there's a whole colony loose, preying on wayward laborers. Bad for morale, not to mention attendance, I should say. Indeed. Well, I'm sure you know what I'm asking. Yeah, destroy a bunch of stuff. This technically doesn't count as murder. We know the last place they made their presence felt among the laborers. You should be able to track the pack from there. It must have been violent if even you're using euphemisms, old chap. The way he speaks, I think he's probably supposed to have a British accent. I'm not gonna subject you all to that. The less said about that, the better. Oh, but when you destroy the chassis, be sure to salvage the core. We can run a diagnostic, and likely as not, repair the model. Oh, and I suppose you'll be wanting to requisition some supplies. But I'm afraid that's not on the table, friend. You're a contractor, after all. Try the bartender over at the last stand. It's an unsavory sort of place, and it'll serve unsavory sorts like you. Otherwise, I'm sure you'll find everything you need. You always were resourceful. Cool. We're friends. That's what friendship sounds like. You know, I do have money. Let's just go fight some robo-dogs. I think we can probably handle this. You find signs of a recent struggle in the clearing. Bloody scraps of metal and clothing are strewn about, and the distinct odor of ozone hangs heavy in the air. You're kicking over a particularly grisly piece of scrap when you realize you are not alone. Viren eyes you warily. What are you doing here, Grifter? Oh, easy, laborer. I'm simply a contractor here to recover the scrap. Sure, likely. I should teach you a lesson. Hey, buddy, listen. Wait a moment. I have a proposition. The pack is on the loose, and they might do untold damage before they're reined in. Instead of impeding me, why not work in tandem? Okay, so what's his deal? A random card in hand costs 1 extra action this negotiation. So that each turn it applies a penalty that lasts for the entire negotiation. That sucks. That sucks. For that, I'm taking your name. Look at all the names on this list. It's already getting pretty okay. Pretty basically maybe okay. So we should probably spend our action on trickery instead of the second call. Bank is unfortunate here. Yeah, I guess let's just... The thing is, I don't know if I want to play this right now. I guess let's rig heads. We have a lot of cards left in our deck that sure would like that coin to be heads up. Viren clearly wants this conversation to end. He's inserting propaganda into my pile. When this argument is destroyed, Viren restores 5 resolve for each propaganda in your hand. Interesting. Wow, the propaganda card's actually useful, though. Huh. Also, yeah, we've already drawn the damaged Call It, and here's... He screwed up my boosted head split. What an asshole. Well... I mean, I may as well drop the pleasantries. The thing is, this card's kind of cool, but it's also just gonna, like, it's gonna fill our hand with stuff that doesn't do anything. So I guess let's just go ahead and detonate that. Or do I want to try the head split first? Yeah, I guess let's go pleasantries. Normal head split. Pretty good. And then rationale. And if the head split had flipped snails, I would have just played this instead of the rationale. Viren, you monster. Okay. Once again, there's no way we get head turner into the prepared state, but that's fine. This turn, we just do a lot of damage. Alright, well, I do believe we've got this. Seems very unlikely that I would not be able to do 2 damage. Oh, neat. Draw a card for each friend you have in the Rise. Man, wouldn't it be cool if we could just be 100% friends? Just friends everywhere. Alright, so we're gonna want to play the head split for XP. So I guess... I'm trying to think, what is the best way to do this? If we grumble first... Maybe I just want to get XP on the trickery? There's not really a good way to guarantee that I'm maximizing XP this round, I think, because there's so much variable damage. I guess let's throw this grumble out here. Then we head split. Head split might end the round. So let's play rationale first to get XP on that. Then trickery, because I feel very strongly about that one. Doesn't actually matter what this is, I don't think. And then we just grumble, right? Because I don't want the battle to go an extra round. Well, I mean, I'm at maximum composure. I'm at composure enough that I don't take damage. Yeah, you know what? Let's just head split. Okay. And if that had not finished him off, it would have been okay. Gamble, gain 3 bonus damage if the coin's on the right side. Ooh. This is already really good for us. Yeah. Let's rig some flips. Just listen here. You can ensure I behave agreeably, and I can ensure no one else gets hurt. That is, of course, what I have been paid to do. Fine, Grifter. I'll work with you. But only until the rusty curs are in line. Alright, excellent. Now we simply need to track the beasts. It's easy enough, innit? They don't exactly pass without trace. Sure enough, the Autodogs have torn a trench of a trail through the bog. Alright, well this seems straightforward then. And probably this guy's not even going to stab me in the back. Also, we desperately need some resolve restoration. You find the den, though your boots don't thank you for it. The dogs lay motionless amid an array of discarded scrap metal. High-frequency whine, shrill and suffering, issues from the vents of the largest. In this state, it's hard to see them as a threat, which is why they catch you off guard when they spring into action at your approach. Well, that's embarrassing for me. Bizzed. That's the voice of it. That's how Autodogs sound. The still functional members of the pack attack. That's, okay, that's a lot of Autodogs. Come and get it, you bolt buckets. Yeah, cool. Good witty repartee with a creature that has no ears. Alright, so, Rook's got this concept of charges. At the end of your turn, you gain 1 defend per empty cell, and at the start of your turn, you fill one of the cells with charge. And then you have a bunch of cards that manipulate your charge up and down. So we want to be burning charge to get a lot of defense. What is this effect they have? Immune to bleed and wound, piercing attacks do bonus damage. Okay. Just going to throw one of these off, and then also deliver a mighty kick. Wait, who's attacking me? Hold on. Okay, just not the one that I already hit. Okay, that'll make my life a little bit easier. Get a little bit of defense from our empty cells. Unfortunately, we also get wounded. That's alright, it's very minor. Okay, that's bad news. Action on the surface has disturbed the bog and caused a burr to emerge. This burr will return to the bog in 4 turns. But if it is destroyed, it will deal 17 damage to all of us, so we have to make sure the dogs don't accidentally blow that up. Let's improvise up a card here. So, we don't really have a good reason to gain charge. The tracer rounds don't... The tracer rounds will spend our 1 point of existing charge, which I actually like. Although... Oh, you're immune to bleed and wound. You're not immune to burn. Are you still not going to fight? He's still just applying... Okay. Alright, so take damage equal to the stack of burn and deal half as much to all allies, and then remove half the stacks. So, it won't die this coming turn. I was really hoping we would do 2 on that application. But no such luck. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm attacking the ones that are attacking me. Because this other dude can fend for himself. At least in theory, he can fend for himself. Alright, so the burn's gonna finish that one off. Oh wow, another burr. Okay. Who's attacking the burr? You? Absolutely not. I guess that one was already under control. Whatever, it's fine. We gotta deal with them all eventually. So I could really charge up here in preparation for some kind of big attack next turn. Potentially, if we draw a card that allows us to do a big attack next turn. Do I even have a card that really spends charge effectively? I have this, but that only burns 1. We might have the ability to improvise a card that spends charge effectively. I actually don't know. I'm just going to shoot something. He's not going to do anything except defend over and over again. I was kind of feeling bad for leaving him to get chomped, but now that it's clear he's doing the same to me, I feel better about it. Okay, so you're going to hit me. Obviously, that's unacceptable. Spend a charge to apply and impair. Ah, here you go. Here's that kind of card. We have 1 charge, so not too impressive. It is 3 to 4 damage, so it's 4 to 5 damage, right? It is maybe actually better than... Yeah, it's better than the burn thing, because in conjunction with the blast in our hand, it'll actually let us bring something down. So actually, we better hit the one who has 7 health. Okay. We would have had to have rolled very poorly in total for that not to work out. Dog's gonna get us all killed. Okay. Let's kick you. Please stop doing that. Rook kicks really hard. So, what do I want to be leveling up here? Crank or hunker down? Probably crank. I probably don't actually want those hunker downs in my deck. I don't know for sure that I want the crank either, but... Alright, something tells me we've got this under control. And then we may as well hunker down. Pretty straightforward. And we definitely needed that resolve restoration. This card has an additional effect if you have no charge. That's interesting. So there's a lot of cards that benefit from having a lot of charge, and a lot of cards that benefit from not having a lot of charge. And we kind of just have to pick a direction for our deck to run in. I sort of like this. It's interesting that it wants you to be empty, but then it gains you charge after you use it. I guess to prevent you from just, like, chaining them forever. A burn strategy could be fun, too, though, because you get such good area damage out of that. You know what? Let's try to lean this way. I think it'll be more fun to play at full charge than it will be to be constantly burning it. Obviously, there's a lot of benefit to being constantly empty because you get all that free defense. And as such, we're going to go the other way. We're going to try the more difficult path, I think. You collect the Autodog cores as Viren watches. When you're done, he speaks up with a voice that suggests this was his plan all along. Thank you for your help, Grifter. But the Rise needs those cores. Hand them over, and your faith won't go unnoticed. Well, we could make a friend. And, I could just tell a lie to what's-his-name. I do like to make a friend. Alright. This is Rook thinking that he can get away with making everybody like him enough here. Yeah, sure, take him. It's the laborer's blood they spilt, after all. So easy. I did expect you to argue. Thank you. That fight was harder than I expected, and I might not have done it without your help. Yeah, because you don't know how to attack. If Viren skulks off, you're going to have to explain yourself to Falemo. Listen. Falemo's an old friend. I'm sure I can manipulate him just fine. We may as well stop by the last stand. I am kind of curious if there are actual cards on sale. A dusty old Kradeshi approaches you as you enter. You're Admiralty, yeah? I can read it across your shoulders. I was, once. Aerostat, if I had to guess? An elite division dedicated to special operations and infiltration. Aerostat members often operate far behind enemy lines, deployed in small groups by stealth dirigible. That doesn't seem that stealthy. I'm trying to make friends here. They can take our youth, eh? But they can't take our cunning. Oh, they would if they could, I'm sure. Alright, well met then. Enjoy your... Do you have your squadron coin? Can I see it? Well, that's quite personal. Oh, no, please, don't take offense. I'm a collector, you see. I have several coins of my own if you're up for a trade. I'm always here. I like the foot traffic. You decide you might be up for a trade, you just find me. I would like a trade is the thing. Pengamut backs off and seems content to give you your space. If there's an angle, you can't guess it. Well, let me see. Let me see what you got. So, currently, we got, this very basic coin. This is just straight up an upgrade. Yeah, these are both strictly better than what we currently have. The sifting coin is interesting. We don't have a way of benefiting, as far as I know, from discarding cards. Like, what I mean is, obviously we don't have a way of benefiting. What I mean is I don't know that there is one. I don't think that that's a linear so much for Rook. But we do have some rigging already. And like, what if we just drew cards all the time? Especially if we're planning on flipping heads a lot. I don't really think applying composure to random friendly arguments is all that valuable. Maybe this is gonna end up messing us up real bad, but I'm gonna take this. Ah, yes, this one has a familiar weight. A pleasure to hold it again, for sure. Pengamut studies the coin fondly before sliding it into a lined case. What a weird guy. The bar is well known in your network. A quiet speakeasy where folks like you can rest away from prying eyes. The clients keep their heads down even as you come in. If they're curious enough to study your face, they're at least clever enough to hide it. Hello, barkeep. My name is Rook, and I'm simply parched. And kind of insufferable. The bartender inspects you carefully, nods once, and keeps the conversation nice and low. Word was I should expect you. I don't make a habit of helping out no more than I need to. You keep that in mind. Yeah, thank you, barkeep. Your warmth and hospitality will keep me going today for certain. Hold on, I got something for you. Habel digs around under the bar, producing a lined case of unlicensed graphs. A gift, my fine friend, and we've only just met. You call in good favors. Okay, so I think we're probably not going to take one of these. We're just going to take 30 shills. 2 power at the start of each battle, lose 2 power the first time you take enemy damage. Yo, that actually could be really powerful, though. Deal 2 bonus damage to targets with Ricochet. Whenever this target takes damage from an attack, deal that much damage to one of their allies and reduce... Okay, so there's like a bouncing attacks mechanic. That's kind of cool. I'm going to decline, because I'm hoping we could take like a boss graft and immediately upgrade that. Very useful. And if I wanted to call in further favors? I got drinks and I got eats. You want anything other than that, you're going to have to talk to the Jakes. And we know about the Jakes. They have a shop set up on the edge of the bog. And the edge of the law, for that matter. Hey, nice poetry. But they're a cagey bunch, so you might have to prove yourself worthy of their business. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Well, I appreciate the information. I'm sure we'll speak again soon. Even though I can already tell that you don't want to. Do we want to just buy drinks for random people? The Hessians say good food brings you closer to the divine. Koki could be a priest. Oh, hey, we know. I think we met Koki in the last thing. He's real drunk. So we could just buy drinks with people and get them to like us if we want a bigger pool of people who like us for this upgrade. But I think maybe we should hold off, because the person who likes us now, the 2 people who like us now, are both like potentially useful, right? Let's see if the Jakes will sell to us. They might have fun stuff. You approach the market, but an armed guard seeps out of the shadows to cut you off. This establishment is for members only. You turn around now and go back the way you came. Ah, but what about if I play cards at you? As clandestine as you make it sound, this is ultimately a business. It's true, just bouncing people doesn't seem like a great plan. Okay, so, I mean, obviously we open up the blacklist, right? Okay, so Double Edge. We're familiar with Double Edge. Unfortunately, we don't necessarily have a great way of stopping her. I could just rationale. Would I rather just like play Head Split or Pleasantries maybe? No, we should rationale. And then I'm not going to flip the coin yet, because drawing a card right now would not be of any benefit to us.
That's enough.
Alright, so you get 1, and then you got that sneakiness. Okay. Let's go to Pleasantries. Alright, so we have our flourishes available. If I press this, I'm allowed to back out, right? Ooh, gamble 5 times. That's fun. Obviously, not something we need to do right now. Yeah. Let's apply 3 composure. And then maybe flip a coin. Interesting. Probably not a great moment to have drawn this. And yeah, rigging 2 heads right now doesn't actually do all that much for us, because it would... I guess if I rig 2 heads and then I just don't call it, then we have a couple of good flips for next turn. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And the prepare is kind of whatever. The rig is actually an argument, so it's not... It's invulnerable, but it could, in theory, still be removed by things that could just remove an argument. Okay, now that's interesting. So, I mean, let's start with the boosted head split, right? Have a good gamble on that. Then Pleasantries. Another one of these. We get the head turner, which is now prepared. Hooray. Gives us the action back. And then we level up this pleasantries. And sadly, we do not finish the job. This is a lot of damage. Yeah, so she's got 1 billion composure. We need to probably just weather the turn. Not really given the option of weather the turn, though. Well, I guess we already have a rationale in hand. So it's not that hard. Can we get through 8 damage? Honestly, no. But if I drew 2 cards... You know what? Let's see. Okay, so we got the head turner. So clear head into head turner leaves us with 1 action. It's still just, it's not very much damage, right? Okay, so let's just play the rationale, have a nice easy turn next time, and just play some stuff for the purpose of gaining XP. It doesn't matter. Alright, we'll flip the coin and stuff next turn. Okay, there we go. There's a win. So, what do we want to do first? I guess we want to play Call It. And then I sort of wish that my coin wasn't rigged to just heads. So, okay, there's a chance this will do 1 damage. Neat. That lets us play both of the other pleasantries. Beautiful. An occasion when minimum damage was actually exactly what we wanted. Set the coin. Choose a side of the coin and flip it to that side. So I'm assuming that the way this is worded, we do in fact get the effect as though it had been flipped. But like, let's replenish Call It. So you just draw an extra card every time you draw your flip. Seems very good. And we're already setting up some rigging and stuff. Like, yeah, let's take that. Gain influence or rig heads. I mean, that seems in theme, right? Apply 3 composure and rig heads, or gamble and then do an effect if it's snails. I mean, and you know how I feel about this. I like the better cards. Slowly the name list grows. Honestly, 6 damage for 2 actions is already pretty decent. Oh, hey, I do like that. My work takes me all over the continent, my friend. Sometimes all the way to Rentoria. What does that have to do with anything? An island nation north of Bavaria, frequently but not currently opposed to the Deltrian Empire. I'm a member worth having, with connections in every faction. You're a spy, then? Fine, conditional membership granted. But you better have shills to spill. Alright, that really couldn't have gone any better. Hey, it's Plaka the Swab. Plaka the Swab, unfortunately, is a graft merchant. Ah, you look like someone who could use an edge, and I have several available. Fair price. You're a member of the Spark Barons, are you not? I am. And this is an illegal black market operation run by the Jakes, is it not? It is. Okay, so how do you reconcile that? Like, shouldn't you be reporting this to your superiors? I contain multitudes. Alright, fair enough. That's my fault. I asked a stupid question. We're not buying grafts right now. We're trying to get a boss graft. So, okay, we talked our way in, and that was probably like a good time to do that, right? So now we don't have to worry about spending the resolve on it later. That said, I did almost lose all of my resolve. Is it getting more crowded in here, or is it just me? So, Philemo likes me. This will be a little easier than it might otherwise be, but if we don't pass this negotiation, he's probably going to be mad. So I guess let's do it. I tracked down all the dogs, you see, but I'm afraid they were all worse for wear. To be expected in their state. And the cores? Yeah, about that. Okay, so we're gonna have to get this right. And we flipped heads to start the fight, because of course we did. Well, I guess that makes pleasantries not very interesting. Let's just call it... Well, hold on. Let's promote a trickery first. So... This is a huge bummer. Alright, rig heads. Let's draw some cards. Okay, that helps. That's definitely a move in the right direction. And then... I'd probably just play head split here because we would really like to... I would really like to get XP on this, even though the card that we draw off of it is not necessarily going to be any good. And 3 damage is 3 damage. Alright, so taking my cards hostage, gaining composure and stuff. This is an opportunity to take Philemo's name on the blacklist. That seems pretty funny. I am definitely worried about our health, though. I mean, again, it's already so much damage. So, this just wins the fight, right? Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to try to get too tricky here. Let's just do it. Rigged coin's a big deal. We gotta get out of this negotiation. And I think we're going to make the same choice here. You know what I like is extra cards. Do we want a second bluff? I don't know. I mean, it's pretty frequently just going to be +1 card, right? You replace the bluff immediately and also draw an extra card off of it if things are going at all well. Yeah, sure. Oh, the poor things were so badly damaged, a puff of air could have disintegrated them. Scraps, being what they are, weren't worth retrieving. Blast it. It's one thing for them to rampage, another entirely for them to fall apart on the job. I'll be having a talk with the lead engineer, and it won't be pleasant. Well, the lead engineer's not going to like me very much. And we get to upgrade a card. I feel like we're very negotiation focused. So let's just go ahead and upgrade the bluff, right? We just took it. Let's see what it turns into. So, okay. It has replenish. That's pretty good. We're just going to draw our whole deck every turn. That's my current plan. Now, Rook, you know damn well I didn't call you all the way out here just to rough up some organizers. I have my own enforcers for that. I need your particular skills. Yeah, I thought you might. You want to discuss that here? No, now that you mention it, I rather don't. That watering hole I mentioned earlier. It's a good place to have a quiet conversation. Meet me there after sunset, yes? Then we'll discuss more. You all right to make it there on your own, or will you need an armed escort? Ah, yes, that gentle ribbing again. You forget, Captain. You may have been our leader, but I was the better marksman. It would be a shame if that required a demonstration. Philemo leaves you alone to contemplate his response. I feel like these two, there's a lot of sort of witty repartee back and forth, but it involves a lot more threats against each other's lives than I'm used to. So I think we'll just go ahead and see ourselves out at that. So Rook's first day is pretty long, as I remember it. I think we're in an okay place to just go ahead and call it for the moment. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, tomorrow, you may well see what happens when a man runs out of resolve. We're getting real close to that place. And we'll see you then.